Welcome back, everybody. Thought I'd give an update on my Pioneer adjustable lever belt, the PAL. I've been using it for 4 months, so I'll give you my impressions on it and answer the question, does it help you lift more weight? Also, I'll go over the Prong belt, the adjustable 1/2 inch by Pioneer, and even though why it's a good belt, I prefer a lever belt to this, and what are the advantages of each. First off, I'll start showing some wear on it. I mentioned about how I wasn't sure if the clear coat would be or whatever. You can kind of start seeing some chipping in there. You can kind of see it on the sides. But, I mean, not too much what was expected here. So, a little wear here. Of course, up in here you can see it. Over there's some scratching and some red. I'm not sure where the red came from. Maybe somehow got contact with my red plates or something. I'm not quite sure how, but I mean, it's been holding up fairly well for that time. But I mean, it will abrase once it has contact with other stuff. So, but I mean, it still looks pretty good. I still like the color on it. It has a nice sheen to it. You can see more of the wear on here. Not too much on the inside. Really where it doesn't contact. There or whatever, where it hits the side of the buckle over here. But that's about for the wear. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 adjustments. So you can adjust it about 2.5 inches from the furthest back to the lightest back. Now, I start out at that hole right in here. This is able to hold it, and up to here. I've tried attaching it like that, but it doesn't go too well. It tends to have a hard time without popping off. It's possible, I say, to get it in, but maybe not. I thought it would be, but I haven't had too much. Nope, it won't fit that way. So this is the furthest or tightest you can go. Well, this is the loosest here. You're still able to attach it to using the one prong over here. So you can buckle it here, 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 there, and here. And then can't do that because this will hit the edge over here. Now, this has been great for me. I love the adjustability of it. Usually on a warm-up set, I tend to just go a little lighter. It just gives a little bit of support. And then go tighter as my working sets go up till I find the right tightness on it. So I've been using it, haven't had any issues with it. I think it's been working great. I really like it. I really like my old lever belts, but adjusting it, I did have adjustability for 2 holes or 2 settings. And what I mean by that, here's my insert. I was able to put it in this hole here. I can't do it with the insert because it only works on the Pioneer and like best belts and stuff. But just to show for reference, put it in that hole and lock it down, or both, where these prongs fit in both 4 of them. So you can set it where you go a little looser by just tapping it in there and then tightening it down, or you want it tighter, you come in here and then tighten it down. But the question is, will it help you lift more? I really think it does help me. It allows me to get the perfect tightness before, just on my max set, depending upon how much food or weight I was at in me. I could get this set like to the perfect tightness to either do a deadlift or a squat, where before it would have been off, because the 1 inch difference, a lot of times I need it just to be a tad bit lighter or tad bit looser or a tad bit tighter. So this 1/2 inch increment is great. So it helps me lift a little bit more by having the perfect tightness where I fill out with my air in my stomach. So I really think it's definitely worth the money. These are great belts. I wouldn't hesitate getting one of these from Pioneer. The belt, which you can customize to your exact liking. If you want it, the belt kind of soft, or if you want your belt hard. I like my belt stiff on it. This is like real stiff, which is what I asked for, to try to make them to make as stiff as they could get it. And really, it has not changed much over the years I've had it. I'm trying to think of how many years I've had it. Maybe 5 or so years, maybe 6, and it's pretty much just about as stiff as when I got it. Now for belts, why I like a lever belt much more than a prong belt. If you look here, the belt overlaps each other. Now the way the belt works, a lot of people that don't know, or just they think it just supports your back, when it's actually supporting your air and everything else in your stomach. So you can help keep your tightness by coming down and filling up your lungs up with air and compressing your abs down to tighten everything up, so it fills up your trunk. So you want to keep your whole trunk stiff. Some people say breathe through your belly, but your lungs don't go in your belly, so that's ridiculous when they say that, but they try to get you to cue. You basically fill up your air. Your stomach doesn't rise when you fill up your chest, because your lungs are not in your stomach. They're in your chest or whatever and hang down. Your diaphragm is right below there, which controls your breathing. So you fill up your air, compress your diaphragm or whatever, like right in here, and then tighten. You got to tighten your abs still on it. So people say breathe into your belly. You don't breathe air into your belly. You tighten your abs by filling when you fill up your lungs with air, and that keeps a stable trunk. Now, the reason why I like the lever belt, it's really sealed in this section where it goes over your stomach, because you have your rib cages in the back, but your rib cage is open in this section here, which your abs have to flex and tight against the belt. So you kind of push out on it, push out your stomach and tighten your abs to tighten everything down. And the one thing about the lever belt, see how it overlaps from here to here? That's extra thickness here. So this allows tightness more so. So you have the thickness of this piece and the thickness of that piece. So you're talking about like 26, well, most belts are like either 10 millimeters or 13 millimeters. It's 13 millimeter here. So you got 26 millimeters of stiffness right in here that you're able to press up against. And it's kind of sealed. See how far it overlaps, which with Pioneer, I specified the length of it because I wanted a good overlap on it and not just like say it overlaps just a little bit. I wanted a large overlap to make it even more stiffer right where my stomach presses against. That's why one of the reasons why I like the lever belts, there's no gap in there, so it allows the belt to work better. Now here's a single prong belt made by Pioneer for Elite FTS Fitness that I got. Good belt, good quality belt. This is a 13 millimeter. Single prong, has a 1/2 inch adjustments. Got this thinking I'd try it. I really don't like it too well. I mean, it's a great single prong belt, but it just doesn't work as well as a lever belt. First off, I mean, it's good that you can able to change the holes and get it to the tightness. Here, one thing, it's like real hard to put it in. I mean, it does need to be breaking in. I haven't used this much and break it in here, but it just doesn't get as tight. You can't press against it as much. It supports the back, but I don't know, maybe if I did this, it'd probably work better if I turned it around. Because show you what I was talking about before on my why I like the lever belt. As you can see here, the way the prong hits here, there's no doubling up because all the tension is here, so you're not thickness. This is very thin, and when I press my stomach against there, it just kind of goes in and doesn't really stabilize it and hold it down like the lever belts do. So, I mean, I can try to get this a little tighter, but it still doesn't work. I guess the only thing really to do would be to turn it around, and it would work better, even though it's only 13 millimeters, while before in my lever belt, I had that doubling up, which makes 26 millimeters of stiffness. Struggling like that, it's not that tight. There are tools and stuff to use to try to get it tighter, but I mean, I'll try to get it as tight as it is. I mean, it took quite a bit of effort to get there, and the way it circles around in here, it just doesn't lay on your stomach very well, so I'm able to get this in here. But wearing the belt like this, I just feel inside when I press up against it, it doesn't offer a firm place to push my stomach up against. I think I would have to do that, turn it, which is a lot more work. And even then, I mean, there's more stiffness. If I was to wear a lever belt, or excuse me, a prong belt, I'd have to turn it around to really feel it. And then this is kind of a little bit uncomfortable, or not too uncomfortable, but it just kind of feels weird in the back, whatever I feel it against my spine. And then if I couldn't put it around the side of my hip because it would dig in my hip. So, I mean, this is the best way for a belt for me, because you press up against here or whatever to support. But a lever belt is just all across, which is what I really like. I don't really use this belt. Yeah, and it's so much harder to get on and off compared to it. So that's why once I got a lever belt, I didn't go back, and I tried to see this. I thought it would work well, but after using a lever belt, these prong belts just don't cut it, because it just doesn't offer the support a lever belt does. And then trying to get this thing off, when, at least for me, I about pass out when I deadlift or squat, so I need to be able to release it quickly to get my air back in, and this belt would take too long. So it may be different for like a 10 millimeter, be a little more flexible, but then it won't offer the support that a 13 does. So that's my take on it. But these are really good products by Pioneer. I know there's some people that do prefer the prong belt, and I think the prong belt, if you were to get one, this would be the belt here, because it just allows you more adjustability on it, and definitely the adjustable lever belt. And Pioneer's leathers are really good quality. I know my belts had a bit of a use and everything's been beat up, but Pioneer always stands behind their products, so I'm happy with them. They do make good belts, and I've tried a few different ones, and being able to customize it is great. So not just the way it looks, but how it feels and performs. I mean, that was my biggest thing of how it performs. So I had the suede inside, kind of with just my name on it. I put my name on it because I had a couple belts stolen. So I'm hoping that'll deter thieves from stealing my belt and everything, even though I try to keep an eye on it. So if you want to lift more or whatever for what you can get, this adjustable lever belt's the way to go. And then you can customize the leather on how you want it to feel. If you want it stiff or semi-stiff or just kind of loose. But to me, the stiffer is the better, because it just offers more support on it. It just puts like a halo tube around me that makes it real stiff, so I'm able to keep upright in the deadlift or the squat. Don't use it for belt, because I tend to try to arch my back, and then it, of course, with the way it's stiff doesn't really constricts me, so I'm always beltless on the bench unless there's something with my back's kind of tightened up or whatever. I might throw a different looser belt on, or a softer belt, just for a little support, but usually don't have to. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope this helps you out.